You're listening to the Small and Supercharged podcast with Ria Freeman, episode 39. So today we are joined by the very lovely Gracie Tyte, and I'm so excited to speak to her and to share her with you as well. Now, if you don't know Gracie's name, you will definitely know at least one of her accounts. She has got 3 on Instagram. She has got pony_nuts, which has 107,000 followers. The Gracie Tyte account, which is a more professional account, which has 26,000 followers, and then Pony Nuts Extras, which has 37.3 thousand at the time of recording. And as if that's not enough, she's also got a YouTube channel with 31,000 followers. Hi, Gracie.
Hello, it's lovely to be here. Thank you very much for inviting me to do this.
Well, thank you for saying yes.
So, I'm Gracie. As you just said, they're all my socials. I'm 15. I just turned 15 and I go to school like most 15-year-olds. I have 2 ponies and my mum has one that I help look after. And I've also got another little pony who's out on loan now to a little girl. I look after both my ponies myself and I ride them and I compete. My main one, Prince, to be 100, about 110 show jumping. I compete most weekends on top of all my schoolwork and on top of my other sports. And on top of that, I run Pony Nuts across my social medias.
And it is really a job. I mean, I know we all enjoy social media, but when you have that size of following, this is a job, isn't it?
Yes, it is quite full on. It's always replying to DMs. I don't want to leave people because I know that they're waiting sometimes and I want to be able to reply to them. So I try my best to keep on top of it all.
So how did this all start for you? How did you become someone who has got these huge accounts? When did you get on Instagram? Tell us all about it.
So I started it, I think it was either Christmas Day or Boxing Day of 2014. I'd had Danny, who's my little pony, who's now out on loan for about 3 months. And he's very cheeky, a very cheeky little pony. And I had got my first iPad for that Christmas. And I was like, you know what? Let me start an account. And the username came from me being at school, and it was first a personal account. But then at school, people were kind of taking the mick out of me. They were like, oh, you're Pony Nuts. Like, haha, Pony Nuts. Like, you're pony crazy. And like making the fun. I was like, haha, good username. So I went home, set up the account, was like, this is going to be great. And I remember going into school the next day and I was like, oh, look, I got 1,000 followers. And everyone was like, no, you haven't. Like, there's no way you have 1,000 followers. You're never going to get that. And I was like, oh, sad. So I just kept posting on it. I posted all about little Danny and all the fails, and started with just photos of me like learning to ride on him because he was my first proper pony who I competed on. But as time went on, Danny got a bit cheeky, and as I said, he's a very cheeky little pony. And I started posting the fails. And the first video that got more views, not viral, but it got more views than normal. And it was just a video of Danny just cantering along the grass, and he got a bit cheeky, and that got, I think, only about 3,000. About the time for little old me with like 700 followers, I was ecstatic and I was so happy. And that kind of continued on for maybe 6 months or so, and just occasional videos were getting more than normal views. It wasn't really photos. Photos did well, but it's more videos and fails especially. And then for Danny's 16th, I made him a birthday cake. And this was at the time when you could only do 15-second edits on Instagram. So I had stuffed all these little clips into one edit of Danny's 16th birthday. And that I was completely over the moon. It got 10,000 views. And I literally couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my goodness, like I didn't know what happened. I didn't know anything about the Explore page. I was still like, 12, 13. And I didn't know anything about what going viral or getting more views meant. But it gained me about maybe 600 followers and 10,000 views. So I was so happy and I couldn't really believe it. And I was like, maybe I can look more into this and see like how this happened and what I could do to do it again, because it was really exciting for me. And I guess from that, I just kind of learned what gets more engagement and what people enjoy. And especially the fails, they keep popping up. The fails are very good. And I started putting my personality a bit more across. So it wasn't just little posts of me going training today. It was saying how the training went and what I felt I could improve on and things like that, how competitions went. And it became more like a blog, I guess, at that point. It was like a blog of my journey. And then over the years, I think the term for it is it's snowballed. So the more people that see it, the more times it goes on the explore page, and then the more people that see it, and it's just like a never-ending circle. And now here we are, like 4 years later, 107,000 followers.
That is amazing. And when did YouTube start for you?
YouTube, I was getting a lot of requests for it because I think people want to see vlogs and things, and it's quite difficult to do on Instagram considering you can only have 1 minute. So I started it quite soon, like 2016 in September. But I posted a video and then got really self-conscious and was like, oh, I don't want to do that. So I didn't post anything for like, I say, a good year. But then a year later, I got more into it and I did some research and I learned about monetization and things where you could get ads on it. And that was really helpful because obviously horses are expensive. And having a little bit of extra money come in makes it a lot easier for me. And I started just making vlogs, and I knew people wanted vlogs, and I started doing some of my story on Instagram, but it just wasn't really the same. I knew it was maybe a bit annoying people who didn't want to watch it because it wasn't really an option not to watch it. You have to skip through it all like in a story. And I did my first vlog and I started making like edits. And then YouTube is something that takes a lot more effort, I find, than Instagram. But once I get the hang of it, it took me a long time to get the editing, and now I'm getting a bit quicker with the editing. I know that vlogs do well, and I know that people like the funny videos, and it's not, a lot of the equestrian YouTubers are informational, so they're informative and they give you advice, but because I'm only 15, I don't really feel necessarily qualified to do that. Like a lot of my followers are 12, 13, 14, and I don't want to be giving them any false information. So I try and make them laugh, make being the key word, and try also. I don't really know if it does work, but hopefully it does. And yeah, I really enjoy doing it. YouTube is fun.
So you have really grown your following by sharing your story, the highs and the lows, not the polished version. And social media gets such a lot of stick for, showing the highlight reel and all the shiny. But actually, you found your followers liked that, but also really liked the real aspects.
Yeah, 100%. I think there's a lot of, as you said, a lot of stick around it for being too polished, like people getting false representations of what they should be like. But I really try and keep my account away from that, because I agree it can be really damaging to especially young people's mental health. And I've seen personally how it can affect other people, like being surrounded by perfect images the whole time. So the whole time I'm saying if things went wrong, then I'm very truthful about it. I won't hide about it. And yeah, sometimes I make excuses for myself, but it's never to a point where I'm like lying or photoshopping. I don't photoshop photos or anything ridiculous like that. What I post on my account is the raw images, it's the raw videos from raw moments in my life, sometimes when things haven't gone well, but also when things have gone well, and then it's just an all-rounded view of it.
And which, I know you said about you had a lot of, when you first started to think, well, hang on a minute, I'm onto something here, was when your pony was being a little bit wicked. Do you tend to get a better response to the ones where it's not quite worked out well? Or now, because you've got such a great engaged following, are they also really happy to share in your successes and your wins as well?
Yeah, actually, yeah, the more it's snowballed and the bigger it's got, I have found that people do like seeing the successes as well. So, for example, this weekend I came 5th in a BE 100, and it was my first time getting placed in a BE 100, and everyone was so happy for me, and I had messages and people being really happy and loads of comments on the post, and it was a really high engagement post. And sometimes I might post a fail and it might get less than what a success post might get. And I don't know if that's just because now it's not so many times just the fails getting on the explore page, it's other things as well. Yeah. And that may be why, but people still love the fails, of course, and I try and keep them updated. But now Danny's out on loan, it's obviously a little bit harder, but I just post everything I can.
But it's lovely that your followers are really engaged with the whole story, and obviously know that coming 5th in a BE 100 is a really big deal anyway, but let alone when they've actually followed the whole journey and had been able to track how your training sessions
exactly.
And how you actually got to that horse and all the other bits too. Really cool. So content wise, do you focus more on videos or do you focus more on photos, or do you find that your followers particularly enjoy the combination of the two?
I definitely find that you have to keep a very well-rounded combination of the two, because if I post too many videos at a time, or too much in a day, or just not enough videos, then my engagement rate will drop. And I like to keep it different. I like to keep them all interested. And if I've got some raws some days, I know dressage isn't very exciting sometimes to watch as a video, so I'll try and do more jumping video because they do better. And it just kind of depends, it also very depends on the day sometimes, because I know Sundays, weekends do very well because my followers aren't at school, but then weekdays don't do necessarily so well. So I look at everything and I think, who will be on at this time, what do they want to see, and what will I post? And sometimes I do polls in my story and I'm asking, do you want to see a raw today, do you want to see a photo today? And I leave it up to them, and then I know for sure that what I'm posting is something that they'll enjoy.
It's really cool because you're very, very strategic about it, not in a sort of calculated way, but you are looking at what your followers want. You are doing the research, you're looking at the insights, you're using, you're thinking, well, actually, when are these people going to be online?
Yeah.
Asking people's feedback, which I think is such a key part of it all.
Yeah.
And as you know, I do kind of teach a lot on social media, and the thing I keep saying to people is you have to like plan, do, review, and then move on.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what you are always doing. You try things, if it doesn't work, you think, okay, well, maybe it's because of X, Y, and Z. How can I improve that? Which is really, really lovely.
Sometimes it doesn't always work though, because obviously if I have an event on a Sunday, then I want to post that on a Sunday because I don't want to like leave it until my most active day. So sometimes it gets all messed up, but then again, that makes it so it's not all calculated. It's just it's a journey, but I try and do it in a way where I know that what people want to see, they'll see it.
Yeah, absolutely. So was there, I know you said about you had the video where Danny was being a bit naughty, and you had the birthday cake making one that really helped to elevate things. Was that the surge when you saw that big leap in your followers, or had there been other events that have really helped to jump you up on the way?
Yeah, so I think that was the first big surge. As I said, it got me like 600 followers. But then I think there was one video, it kind of happens. So I'll have like a rough period where I won't get many engagements. And I don't know if that's just because Instagram's doing something where they have a different algorithm. Like everything can change and cause like a difference in engagement. Sometimes it's just not the post. And then I'll have a surge of really high posts. So I went through a time, I think it was just before Christmas, when I was getting like consistently like 100,000 views per video. And they weren't necessarily the most exciting videos or the best videos, but one of them was one to a song, and it had Danny's name in it. It was quite a good song, and it really fitted him, and it had like a mixture of fails and good moments, and it was like a plot twist, and I was really proud of it, and I posted it, and it was my most viewed video. It had about 150,000 views, and I was really happy, and I gained a lot from that. And then less than a week later, so that was like an achievement one, that was celebrating Danny. And then less than a week later, I fell off Danny when I was filming for a YouTube video. It was quite a funny fail, and I was really excited about posting it. I posted it, and then that got like 150,000 views. But if I posted them maybe a month later, I'm not sure if they would have got the same. Because it's all dependent.
That's really positive actually as well, because I think a lot of people, if a post doesn't go well, they blame the algorithm, or they really blame themselves. Whereas sometimes it just doesn't work that way. Whether it's slightly the wrong time, it's slightly not quite the right content that the people wanted on that day. You can analyze to a quite a large degree, let's be honest, but you can also overanalyze and look for things that aren't
there. And of course, like the videos don't always get the views immediately. Like the one with the fail didn't get many for at least a few weeks, and I could have just turned away and said, oh, that didn't do well. But then I waited a little bit longer, and I'd say maybe a month after it posted, it suddenly had a huge spike in views. It suddenly went crazy, and I guess that's just because Instagram saw it and they were like, oh, we're going to push this. I don't know how they do it. It blows my mind whenever they do how to work it. But then that's when it went the views. So it's just really interesting.
Really, absolutely. So now, obviously, with this really big following, let's be honest, I don't know how you feel about the term influencer, but you are definitely an influencer in the space. How do you find that?
I think it's been the most amazing experience, and I've had the most amazing opportunities through Instagram, and I'm so grateful for the fact that I have had the support and the people following me and the help that I've needed to like make it how it is, because some of the things I've been offered to do and the brands I've been allowed to work with, it's something that I think everybody really wishes they could do. And of course there's moments where I think, oh, this is a lot of work, like how am I managing this as well? But then at the same time, a lot of my equipment I use, and a lot of the tools I use as well, and apps as well. I've used apps, been helped with the brands for that. They really have become an everyday part of my routine, and it's strange to think like if I didn't have them, how different would it be?
So what are some of the really great opportunities you've had through being an influencer?
So I think a couple of them I've asked to do like photo shoots. I did a photo shoot with one of my coaches for a magazine, and that was really good because that like allowed more exposure from me as well, and it was a really great experience for that. And then I got to do a live meet and greet at Olympia with my followers, and that was amazing because we did like an informal one at badminton last year, and it was crazy. So many people turned up and I couldn't believe it, and I was like, whoa, I'm gonna have to email Olympia and be like, look, I don't want to be doing this in your tiny little halls. We got to get a big, because they have an actual live meetup area at Olympia, and they got back and they were like, yes, perfect, we'll do it. And I kind of went along. I was a bit nervous. I was like, ooh, this is what if nobody turns up now? But people turned up, and it was amazing to meet everybody. And then I worked with Treadstep now. I'm sponsored by them because I worked with them. I loved them for a long time, and I had their boots ever since I was little. And then when they emailed me, I was like, oh my god, like one of my favorite brands has just emailed me. That's incredible. Yeah, and then that saved me because I was literally growing out of those boots as well, so it was really helpful. And then very recently as well, Champion contacted me, and brilliant, because I've grown out my old hat, and my old hat was giving me a headache from another brand, so it was amazing, and it just probably saved me a lot of money and introduced me to so many brands that now are one of my firm favorites. Obviously, I literally don't know what I'd do with some of that brands wouldn't have worked with otherwise if they hadn't contacted me.
So how do you deal with it when brands approach you? Because with this following, you're going to get a lot of brands approach you. I know you're really careful who you work with. I know that you don't introduce brands to your fans and followers without putting through their paces. So can you tell me about that process?
So I'm contacted quite a lot, as you said, and it's either through email or through messages or anything that they can try and get hold of me and they think I'll reply. And it's a lot with how they come across, because sometimes they get companies message me and they just go, hey, we'll send you a free product in return for promotion across your social medias. I'm like, right, well, I have other companies who they would pay me to do that. So why would just a free product for all that promotion? I don't know what you need. I don't know your company. I need some information. I need your website. I need to know what this product is. It's like, it's hard because obviously they could be new to it. They could not know how to come across well across social media. But for me, especially the ones that stand out are the ones that message me and they give me information about their brand. They tell me what they have to offer. They tell me what they like in response. Even if they go, what your like ad rate, that's always nice to know that they're open for that. And I don't feel mean like saying, hey, yeah, sorry, it's £25 or whatever, £35. So definitely the first impression matters is my key thing.
I think that's a really, really strong point, because I'm kind of the other side of the coin. I obviously work with a number of brands and we get approached by influencers a lot about wanting free stuff. And that always blows my mind, how people come from nowhere and go,
yeah,
I would like some product to put on my feed. And you look at their feed and they've maybe got a few hundred followers who are really unengaged, and the pictures are poor quality, and they're posting pictures of a competitor's product. That always really, really does it for me.
Yeah.
Amazing. So it's really good it's kind of good and disturbing to know that actually the other side of the coin as well, you have people just going, have this free product, which I imagine a lot of the time is not high value.
Yeah.
And then they need to share it everywhere.
Yeah.
No, when you get to the level of following you've got, you can demand money. Can you tell me about how that works? Because I know you said that you've had a bit of a thing with that recently.
Yeah, so recently I had a company message me and they were like, oh, we'll send you a free product term promotion. It was one of those. And I got back and I was like, hi, thanks for your message. Like, your brand looks nice. If you want to work together, then I charge £35 for a review. And that involves this, and this. And that will get you engagement. And this is how many people see this post. And I will send you the insights. And then they sent this message off to an account. And they were like, so it was obviously a really unprofessional company. They screenshotted the message and then shared it around and were saying how like rude I was to say it.
A company did that?
Yeah, I was like, excuse me.
Oh my good Lord.
How can you justify that? That doesn't make any sense. So I'm glad I didn't work with them to start with, because that's incredibly unprofessional and not correct. and
That
make
is
them just look
awful.
stupid. It was awful. There's been a lot of bad things that happened. And then people came out and they were like, you can't charge. You're not allowed to charge. Like, you should be, people would love to get free products. I was like, yeah, but I've worked for these followers. I'm not messaging these companies asking for them. They're messaging me, and I should be able to choose, right? Like, it's not.
Yeah, it's the beauty of it is it's your platform. You know, obviously Instagram's not your platform, but
Yeah,
your following, you've grown and nurtured. You've put a huge amount of effort into, or time and effort into creating the content, editing the content, thinking about the people you want to work with. You can completely pick and choose who you like.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's like, it would be like going to a magazine and saying, you can have my advert. Well, no, you pay to have an advert. You pay to have space. It doesn't work like that. And also, you know, what you were telling me earlier about your rates are just, that's not, you're not asking for £35,000 per post. It's not the same animal.
No.
I'm amazed at that. But isn't it an interesting thing as well? What did that company feel they were going to gain by that? Because you'll never work with them again.
I've no idea. I honestly, I couldn't believe it. I saw it and they crossed out their name, so you couldn't tell the company it was. But luckily, I know who I speak to. I keep control of who I speak to. I don't just like have a copy and paste message. I write the messages myself, and I know who I'm sending it to. So immediately, I was just like, seriously. And I didn't even send a message. I just blocked them. I was like, if you're going to be like that, then you're not getting anything from me. It's ridiculous. And I think it's becoming to light a little bit about this whole hashtag ad and hashtag gifted, and a lot of people don't really understand it. And I still see big accounts on Instagram receive free products and they don't put gifted, and I want to message them and I want to say, you have this like a legal requirement, you have to do this, and it can get them serious trouble if they don't do it, because it's such an important thing, and you've got to be letting people know that this is a free product and it's not just something you've brought. So ad is when the company is paying you or giving you a free product, and there's like the important thing is and they've had a say in what you've been posting.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, someone messaged me and they were like, oh, you're not putting ad in your post, you're wearing like your free top. And I was like, yeah, but they didn't tell me to post that. That's my own post from like a training session. Just because I'm wearing it doesn't mean it's an ad. But gifted, on the other hand, is if I'm like being given a product, for example, like a hi-ho silver bracelet, then that is gifted, because they didn't tell me to put like, go buy this bracelet. They just sent me the bracelet and I'm wearing it on my own accord. I'm posting about it on my own accord, and then I have to put gifted to say that this is a gifted product.
Completely. No, I think the whole transparency thing is really important, and I think it's a really good thing. I think that people don't feel misled or missold to or anything like that. If you're saying, I was sent this for free and I really like it, brilliant. You're not saying you go buy it, and but equally you're not making them think that you've bought it either, because you're being completely honest and transparent. I think that's a really positive thing. But I think people having a pop at you about it is so far out of order. I mean, that's just, it blows my mind when I have people approach companies I work with who have got this weird attitude, but I'm really disappointed in the brands for having the same attitude with people that they really, really want to work with. That to me is just mind-blowing.
It's crazy. And I think the more people learn about like ad and gifted, the more it will become less of like almost a stigma, I think, surrounding it. The less people will go, oh, how can they do that? That's like not allowed. Like, the more we talk about it, the more we educate people on the fact that this is happening, and to go get a real advert, like you said, in like a magazine or something, that's a lot of money. That's like in the thousands to get an advert on TV, or an advert in a billboard, or an advert on a magazine. And you're probably getting more exposure for a singular Instagram post from a big influencer, and that would be costing you a lot less. And it's just it's a different way of advertising, a different way of marketing, and not many people know about it because it's so well hidden and not as accessible, I'd say, maybe, as it is more accessible than it used to be, and not people like understand it.
I think in the equestrian country sector particularly, I think, you know, when we look at makeup influencers and fashion influencers, there's quite a lot of them who've got very big accounts that have that big brands, you know, big makeup brands, big you know, homeware brands, whatever, would sponsor content and work with them on that level on a much more mainstream way. But I think you're right, in equestrian, it's not that common. It's becoming more common, which is really positive, because it is showing a way that people who put this much time and effort into creating this really good content are being reimbursed. And okay, product's one level, because we all need products to have our horses, etc., but also we need money to live, and you are helping people make money. So it makes perfect sense that is how it's going to work.
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy for brands to have the audacity to approach you and then not even be willing to have the conversation, to then go and be incredibly negative is just so not on. That's really bad.
It's fine if they message me and I get back and I say these are my ad rates, and they get back and, oh no, sorry, we're just looking for a brand ambassador. Like, I understand that. And
that's fine.
maybe in that situation I'm not looking to be a brand ambassador. Like, I don't want to be making my account too commercial, and if we come to an agreement like that, then fine. I completely understand that. But it's when they don't reply and then they act like I'm the one in the wrong for asking, that I'm being unreasonable for asking. No,
you're not.
There's an agreement here.
Not even a bit. So would that be one of the lows of doing what you do?
Yeah, I think definitely that is probably one of the lows, along with the fact that there's probably a lot of negativity, and obviously with young people, there can get jealousy involved and they just want to be mean. Sometimes people are just mean, and I don't know why, because I would never even think about being mean online. And I think the big main thing about having a large account is that people don't see you as a real person. They see you as a robot. So they think they can just chuck mean words at you and say things, and it will just like bounce off you because the big followers are like a shield. But it's not. I'm still the normal person, just like somebody with 200 followers is. Just because I have 100,000 doesn't mean that that's a big ball, a bubble surrounding me. I'm still here and I'm still alive and I still have feelings, just like everybody else.
Do you have a lot of issues with negativity?
Not. It usually comes mostly in school holidays, I find, when people are bored at home. So it always sparks around Christmas. People, like, especially towards the end, them 28th, 29th December, them days, people when they're off school but Christmas is over and it's not quite New Year and everyone's kind of bored and sitting at home and it's too cold to do anything, and then people just get petty, and it's like, really, did you need to say that? That wasn't quite needed. But it's never horrid. There's been a couple of horrid comments, but I'm really lucky I've got my mum and my dad, and I go to them and I speak to them and I say, hey, look, I don't know what to do, can you help?
That's really good.
And they help me reply, or they help me stop it. And a couple of times it's got really serious and we've like considered going to the police about it, because it's just awful sometimes. And I think the moment they realize that you're serious, because it can be done, Instagram does take it seriously. If you really message them and say, hey, look, this person is proper harassing now, then they go, oh, okay, like, we can get police involved, we can get people involved who will sort this out. And it's never got to a point we've actually gone, oh my god, this is like going to court or whatever, but it's got to a point where we've considered taking it, but then we told them, we were like, please stop this, because we don't want to have to get legal people involved. And then they were like scared, they shut the account down, because they don't want to be involved in that. They don't want to be caught up, as I guess they're like 12 doing this. I can't imagine anybody older than that is really doing it. They don't want to be caught up in that, and I don't want to get them caught up in that.
No.
But when they're claiming things, making up lies, saying things, then it's like, you can't let it get that far.
But a lot of younger people and a lot of older people, let's be honest, would really take that very personally.
Yeah.
It would really have a very negative impact on their mental health in quite a serious way.
Exactly.
So the fact that you go and speak to your mum and dad about it is amazing. What advice would you give to people who are having issues with people online, whether it's kind of really horrible trolling or much more serious, or much sort of less serious but more kind of needling at you?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I think the main thing is there is absolutely no shame in going to tell somebody, or even just taking a break. You can get so caught up in it, and with people constantly needling and saying something, it can all build up and it becomes quite like a stress on you. Like, it feels like you're holding a weight on your shoulders, because you're sharing it, but you don't know if you should share it because you're scared of people being mean about it. If you take a break and you just go, look, this is online, this is not real life. I have my family, I'm in a home, I'm happy, and this social media is just something else. It's a hobby. It's what it should be. It's something I do for fun, and that's all it should be. It should never be anything where you're feeling like you cannot do something because of it. Then at that point, you just need to take a break and sit back and say, fine, I won't let them beat me by bowing down to it. Just let them have their moment and then come back, and don't let them get to you, because as you said, they're the ones who are probably having problems. And I always find, actually, one thing I did find is that if you're nice to them, then they have nothing against you. If you message them and you're like attacking them and you're like, take this coat down, like, you are a horrible human being for doing this, then they're going to be like, haha, look, we're doing this for the right reason. She's being mean to us, therefore we have every right to be mean back. But if you message them, you go, I'm sorry, I'm sorry that you feel this way about me. I hope you're okay. And if I've done anything to upset you, then please let me know and we can sort this out. Then they go, oh, oops.
It's hard to argue with somebody with that attitude. It's killing them with kindness, isn't it? The whole
kill them with kindness.
Yeah.
And the main thing is telling parents. I definitely think parents, if they're there and they're happy to support you, then they will have your back and they will tell you what the best thing is to do. Because sometimes you need an outside ear and somebody who hasn't seen the whole conversation just say, to make yourself look the best and to make yourself look more mature person, this is what you need to say. Because it's really easy to get angry and then just spew words at them, and then you'll regret that later. But if you've got somebody there who's patting you on the back and saying, look, it's fine, this is what you need to say, then it's so much easier.
And I think as well, again, thinking of your younger following, is that social media does get a really bad reputation. And I think a lot of parents are really scared of their children using social media because of the horrible things that can happen. They're like, this is the unusual cases that are pulled out and sort of a light shone on them. But by being more open and sharing these things, it's going to actually help the whole situation. Everyone's going to feel much more comfortable with how it's all working.
Yeah. And I think also the people who are being mean, if they see the fact that their words actually do like affect people, then I don't believe that anybody is born a bad person and has that bad intentions inside of them. They probably think what they're doing is funny and they think that these people aren't affected. But the more we talk about it, and the more we say, no, look, I'm standing here. I've got my family, I've got my friends, and your words, they upset me, but what you're doing isn't correct. And please realize that. Please don't try and upset others because you're not feeling good. That's not the right thing to do. And we offer them the support that they maybe need. Then it's so much easier to stop the vicious circle that happens through social media sometimes.
That's a really good spin on it. So they were the lows, boo hiss. Tell us about the highs. You spoke about working with brands. What are the things? What's been your top points?
Oh, there's been so many highs. It's been an absolute whirlwind. I think one of the big highs was the fact that I was given the opportunity to create merch. So it's always just been like something really far off in the distance. I was like, I could never do that. But then suddenly the opportunity arose and I was like, oh, maybe I could just give it a go. And I was like, okay, I'll create some and just see what happens. And then they sold out. And
wow,
like that feeling of when I was packing up these polo shirts that I created and that I designed and that they were completely my own, and then knowing that people were like wearing them and being tagged in photos, and it was amazing on Christmas Day when I woke up and I had so many DMs of people like saying, got my Pony Nuts polo shirt for Christmas, and then wearing it, and it just made me like feel quite emotional because these people are real, and they real people who have clicked that button, who have gone to my website and bought the polo shirts. And then it was quite funny because just there at school, one of my friends, she went on a school trip with some of the younger years, and she came up to me and she was like, some girl from another school on the school trip was wearing one of your Pony Nuts polos. And that just completely blows my mind. There's real people out there who really believe in me and support me. And I know if I ever felt down, I could always go and be like, hey, guys, I need some advice, or do you have any help you could offer? And there's people that actually believe in me. And that's just an amazing feeling to know that no matter how down I feel, people support me and support my journey and are looking forward to my posts or whatever. And I hope it makes them happy, my posts, and make them smile.
That's really, really lovely. So we obviously touched on brands and how some don't handle it well. If you could give brands top tips when it comes to working with influencers.
Mm-hmm.
whatever they're following, but people that they highlight and they pick out.
Yeah.
What tips would you give them?
I'd say give the influencer a choice. Let them know your opportunities and what you offer, and don't come at them and be like, hey, we'll give you this product, because that product may not be the right product for what they are having on their account. Because, for example, I have lots of leggings, and if a company approaches me and is like, hi, we'll send you a pair of leggings, then I'm like, okay, but you're not going to get as much exposure as you'd get if you'd, like, for example, if you'd sent me a polo top or a jumper, because I don't have so many of them. So therefore, I'm more likely to wear that jumper more than I'd wear the leggings. And if people were to message me and say, look, you can choose something off our website, whatever you think would work best, and then keep it your own style. That's also very important. I really don't appreciate when they tell me word for word what to post, because that's not me, and I don't like that. I want it to be I don't mind hashtags and things, like, that's their brand, that's fine. But it's when they say, like, say this, say this, say this, say this. No, because this is my account and it's got to be my own personality, and people aren't going to buy it if they think that this is a completely fake post. They want to hear they incorporated me and they know that I'm using it because I like the product, and they're more likely to buy it. And I'm going, hey, look, buy this. I've been told to say this, but buy it.
But also the brands have picked you because they like your style, they like the way you speak to people, they like how you engage your audience. I'm so against micromanaging people anyway, because who's got the time for that? But also, you want to work with these people because what have they built? People are, they buy into you. So I would, they either trust you or they don't, and if they don't, they shouldn't be working with you, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree completely. It's very important to keep the style and to not ruin the style, because if you ruin the style, then it ruins the post and it ruins the engagement, and it just a big vicious circle that doesn't mean you won't get the best exposure. Then if you come to me and you go, hey, look, we have this product, you can choose them, we've got this brand, you can choose what you want, whatever you think works best, incorporate into your everyday videos. We can give you some information on the product, and that helps. That's always nice if they give you some, like, key facts about it, and then I can say this is what the good things are about it. But then they go, create a post, whatever you want, especially if they say, like, what are your ad rates, and then that's also nice to know they're open to that. And if they're nice and inviting and happy and supportive is the main thing. I love it when brands I work with message me and just say, hey, how are you finding the product, or how are you? And that's just a really nice feeling to know that I'm not just like a machine for them. I'm not just like a pawn for them to use. I'm something that I'm someone who they work with, not someone who they can use to work, if you get me.
Yeah, no, completely. You're part of the team rather than... Yeah, no, I think that's a really, really good point as well. And if there's anyone there who's looking to, get on with Instagram, get on social media and really grow it, have you got any top tips for them?
I think, okay, I say this to lots of people. I get a lot of messages messaging me going, hey, how can I gain followers?
Imagine.
And my 100%, what I always say without doubt is enjoy it. Absolutely enjoy it. Just have fun doing it. If the whole time you are just thinking, how can I get more followers? Like, it's okay to look for what's your best days and to know when your best most active followers are. That's fine, because that's just looking into it and finding out about them. But don't get obsessed with it. Don't base your riding on what you're trying to post. Ride like normal. Don't let your life be controlled by it, and enjoy it. And if you're honestly getting on Instagram and thinking, oh my god, I haven't gained 20 followers today, then that's not what it's about. You should be going on and thinking, oh, look at this, look at all these lovely photos my friends are sharing, look at my lovely page that's got all my journey on it. You should be looking back and scrolling through your feed and going, oh, remember this day, not, oh, this post got the most number of likes. It should be, this was a great day, this was a really interesting day, or, oh, I didn't do so well this day, but I learned from that and did better the next day. And that is what it was created for in the first place. It wasn't created for people to boost their ego with a load of followers. It was created for people to share their journey and connect with people and make new friends without being too cringy.
No, it absolutely was. And I think we lose sight of that, don't we? When these platforms develop and become more commercial, we can lose sight of the essence of them and how we can use that to enrich our lives rather than make it into another flipping stress on a list of stress.
Honestly.
So can you tell us where we can find you in all of the places, in all the proper terms, just in case there's anyone out there who isn't following you yet, which I can't believe.
So on Instagram, I'm mostly on Instagram, and my main platform on there is at pony_nuts. And then we also have my extras account, which is ponynuts_extras. That's where I just post all the little outtakes, the ones that don't quite make it onto my main account. And then I've got at Gracie Tyte on Instagram, which is just like an account for updates. I don't post about most trainings or random days. I post just about the main events I go to, so I can look back and without having to scroll through a load of other posts, it's got all my little achievements or not achievements on there, and then I can look back on that. Or if companies want to see actually how I'm doing in terms of competing, then that's a nice place for them to go and look at that immediately. And then we have my YouTube, and I've just got the one platform on there, and that is Pony Nuts. That's really simple. And on there I do vlogs, I do funny videos, I try at least, and just edits everything that is too long to go on my Instagram. And then I also have Facebook, which again is just like Gracie Tyte. It's Gracie Tyte Equestrian on Facebook, and that's just for my updates, my competition and training updates. That's mostly my friends and my family. If my followers find it from Instagram, then fine, they can do that too. But I try and more push the Instagram side and the YouTube side as well.
And what does the future hold for Gracie and Pony Nuts and all of the platforms?
Well, I hope to continue it as long as I can. I'm not sure how it's going to hold out when I go to uni and college and things, but hopefully I can continue to use it. And I really, really enjoy it. And I've made so many friends through it, and it's great to get to learn how to use it and posting as well. So hopefully I can continue it, and obviously maybe move a little bit more towards YouTube in the future, because that'll be more manageable rather than having to post every day. I can post once a week or whatever. And that might be more manageable when I'm in uni or college in a few years. Quite a long way off now. But yeah, I'd love to keep going with it, because as I said, so many amazing experiences. And I think my life would be very different to what it is now if I didn't have my social media. It would be very different.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much for talking to me. And I can't wait to see how you continue to grow your brand and the Pony Nuts brand. And
absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much.